Happy Easter, everybody. The time has finally come. We hit the road tomorrow, making our way to South Dakota. So tonight will be our last night in Fort Payne, Alabama. We'll leave tomorrow afternoon sometime and make our way to Louisiana. But we're gonna spend about a week in Louisiana, see family and friends, and we'll sightsee around Louisiana. I'll show you some things out there, and then from there we're going to make our way to South Dakota. So we leave tomorrow, which is the 2nd, and we won't get to South Dakota until May 1st. So this is going to be a month-long adventure to South Dakota. And hold on, I got to keep my dog out of the ant pile. And there's Tracy.
Hey, and if you're familiar with Harvest Host, we're going to be stopping at several Harvest Host locations on our way up. We've got one on the way to Louisiana, and I think 5.
I think four or five from Louisiana up to South Dakota. Yeah. So we'll be hitting some Harvest Hosts. We'll show you some sights along the way. Today we're going to go out and show you Fort Payne, or a few things in Fort Payne. We wanted to do some more things, but we've been real busy getting the RV ready and getting everything together, ready to go. But we're going to take you out today, and we're going to go see a few things in Fort Payne, some waterfalls, and we'll go see downtown Fort Payne, show you a little bit of the history here, and then we'll go from there.
Hey, so we are in Mentone, Alabama, and this is known locally as the Church in the Rock, because for obvious reasons the church is built into a huge boulder. The sign over here behind me, you can read it. It was the Sally A. Howard Memorial Chapel. They built it in '37, They still have church services to this day. You can walk in the chapel 7 days a week, take a look around, walk around the grounds, visit the cemetery that they have around the back. You can have picnics out here, gatherings, everything. So this sign here, I'm going to turn it around and let you read a little bit of the sign. And so the Sally A. Howard Memorial Chapel, built in '37, built by Colonel Milford Howard. His first wife, Sally, was the love of his life, and this was built specifically for her. Granny Dollar, who, that's another story, is a very interesting story. She was part of the Indian Trail of Tears when they were running out all of the Indians out of DeKalb County. She had a homestead a little bit down the road from here, but she was seen around town with her dog, and children used to follow her around. And she wasn't really a granny, she didn't have any children, but that's what they called her, and she actually used to attend church services here.
I'm getting the video. Say hi to the video.
Have a video.
So, where are we at?
Little River Canyon.
Where?
Little River Canyon. At the falls.
See if we can go down and get some shots of the waterfalls. Alright guys, we're coming up to this is the falls at Little River Canyon in Fort Payne, Alabama. Let's see if we can get you a view. And the falls are flowing good right now. Last year when we were here, the fall was pretty much completely dry. This whole pool down here was completely dry. And also at Desoto State Park, another falls that we're going to show you today, it was completely dry. There was a bad drought last year. But as you can see, with all the rain that we got this year, all the falls are flowing pretty good. So we were just told by the ranger, if you look, see if I can point to it. So right above my finger over here, there's an eye bolt in the ground. And that eye bolt, they tie ropes to. And on the boardwalk right here, you'll see this gate that opens up. And they use that for is they have problems here with people walking out onto the falls, getting a little crazy, and they end up going over the falls and getting injured. So this is where they anchor the rescue basket, open the gate, open this gate here. If you open that bolt, they'll open the gate and then lower the rescue basket down there, and that's where they pull up the injured people, or unfortunately 4 times last year it was deceased people. So 4 people died here last year from crossing over the rails and walking out onto the falls.
This is the Depot Museum in Fort Payne, Alabama. This was once a train depot. A lot of stops were made here during the boom days. They have a time capsule set up here. This will be open in the year 2039 for the city of Fort Payne on occasion of its 100th birthday and centennial celebration. So the year 2039, they will open up this time capsule. That ought to be pretty neat. This is the Depot Museum. This building is actually what Jeff Cook from the band Alabama designed his house around, which is also in Fort Payne, but it's up there on the mountain.
And you can't get to it because it's behind gates.
Yeah, you can't get to it. And it was, he called it Excalibur, but people call it Cook Castle. And one time he was actually going to sell it. The Depot Museum, actually, of course, it runs right by the train tracks because it was a stop on the train schedule.
Alright guys, we're in downtown Fort Payne. And Fort Payne, Alabama is actually the hometown of the country band Alabama. And right here downtown at the park, there's a monument for the band members of Alabama. So as soon as I get over here, I'll get the camera turned around and we'll show you the monument.
So this is my next ex-husband. This is Mr. Jeff Cook, handsomest man. Tells you a little bit of his story. Says that right now he's got a wife named Lisa, but yeah, he's my next ex-husband. Then you got Mr. Randy Owen. A little bit about him and his wife Kelly. I like that they tell what inspired him for his music. This is Mr. Mark Herndon. He's still making music. I believe he's somewhere up in Tennessee now. He's a Massachusetts born. But he was their drummer for a good while. Mr. Teddy Wayne Gentry over here on the end. A little bit about him. Up here on the monument, they tell all about their awards that they've won. There's a lot of them. And this goes into their story about them growing up here and their love of music and when they were inducted into the Country Music Hall of Fame. Got some more awards over here. I don't think there's any shortage of awards for this band. And you got more right there. This park over here behind it is actually called Alabama Park. It's a dog walking park. People sit out here with their kids and have picnics, and during the Boom Days celebration they have little bouncy houses and bunch of stuff for the kids, petting zoos. And they have food vendors come out here and feed everybody. It's beautiful.
Alright guys, I apologize for the audio. I know the wind is terrible out here today. We're working on getting better equipment so we can cut all this wind noise out, but bear with us. It'll get better. Yeah.
So this is the main strip in Fort Payne. This is downtown Fort Payne. I like how they've kept the older style of the buildings. You got the Strand over here. This is where the boys of the band Alabama used to come and hang out and sit at the bar. And it's not an alcohol bar. They'd sit at the counter bar and eat their lunch and drink their milkshakes and stuff.
Old-fashioned soda fountain.
Old fountain, yeah, old-fashioned soda fountain. They have their antique shop on the side over there. This part of the town, once a year, they have what's called Boom Days celebration, and they shut down the street from way down there And they shut it down all the way down past there. Close it off and they have a big block party. They have food vendors. They have old cars come out here. They have fun stuff for the kids that goes along with what I was talking about for the Alabama Park over there.
Alright, and this is, what is it?
This is Farmhouse Finds.
Farmhouse Finds.
It's great for finding stuff like old trucks and horse tubs and bird cages, and this right here I think is beautiful. But my favorite thing about Farmhouse Finds is this bench. It says husbands. You will see many men sitting on this bench waiting for their wife to come out of that store.
That's where I sit whenever Tracy shops in there.
That's got all of your farmhouse stuff. If you like to decorate your house in farmhouse style, that's where you go. And that's where your husband sits to wait for you. So, this here at the corner is called The Spot. And I think that's a perfect name because that is the spot. If you like coffee as much as I do, you look for a good coffee shop, that's the spot right there. Best coffee in Fort Payne. You want a latte, you want a mocha latte, you want a cappuccino, whatever, you go to the spot. Best place in town.
Alright, so now we're at the Alabama Museum and Fan Club.
Fan club and museum.
Yeah, Fan Club and Museum. I'm backwards all the time. Actually, I think the museum part of it is still closed. They closed the remodel of the museum and they said they're reopening spring of 18, so I don't know.
The guys sometimes put on concerts here. They put on one concert. It was supposed to be their farewell concert when Jeff announced that he has Parkinson's. So they did a farewell concert for the people here in town because he might not be playing with them too often. Although he did just play with them at SeaWorld in Orlando. Just as his health permits it, he'll put on shows with them. And he's going to be putting on a show with his other band called Jeff Cook and the All-Star Good Time Band. I don't know if that's going to be here, but I know they're doing one over at the DeKalb Theater. But they might put on a few more here every now and then.